What is one of the keys that is necessary to unlock your awakening process? Well, let's start with the fact that right now there is probably more competition for your attention than maybe you've ever experienced. I mean, between devices and social media and a plethora of videos and hyped up media, and just your own life and what you have going on in your life with work or family or friends or health, there's a lot of competition right now of people wanting to get your attention. And the thing is, it's really easy to put our focus on everything outside of us because of all of those different venues, all those different sources that are trying to get our attention. And right now, because the world is really noisy, in countries like here in the United States, as well as in other parts of the world, there's just a lot going on. But the thing is, from my own experience, in order to really awaken, there's something really necessary. That's the key that I want to get into right now. That key is your focus, your unwavering attention. Because as long as we're hypnotized by looking outside of ourselves, we're not going to turn inward and be able to abide and access our true nature. We are our true nature, but all of this noise and all this distraction can seemingly cover up or tempt us or almost kind of hypnotize us away from experiencing the truth of who we really are. And I mean, even internally, like with thoughts and feelings and sensations, those in and of themselves are enough to keep us distracted from experiencing our true nature, that pure shared being of peace and contentment and happiness. So right now, it's like there's this incredible, it's not a test, but sometimes it feels that way, but there's this incredible opportunity, rather than test right now, to practice. And that is the opportunity to say no to all of those distractions and take time to turn inward to the truth of our being. There isn't any other way I know of to wake up but by going inward. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Back a few years ago, I had an energetic awakening. And when that happened, that was a physiological, like a Kundalini experience. We'd call it Kundalini in the East and energetic here more in the West. But nevertheless, physiologically, the body, the nervous system, the brain, the spine, all this energy was pumping through and moving up into the crown chakra and then going out through the top of the head. And so for 5.5 months, I had nothing but pure bliss. I thought this was my awakening. I didn't realize that as quickly as the energetic experience entered my life, it almost just as quickly exited my life 5.5 months later. But what happened was, the real awakening was still on its way. I'd already had glimpses, but a deeper experience happened. I was biking around a neighborhood. It was summertime. It was around June, and I was listening to Swami Atmananda. It's a man I deeply respect. I really cherish him. He teaches, he's in Rishikesh, India, and helps his students awaken. And so I'm listening to him talk, and he's asking the question, are you aware? And I'm biking and I'm looking around. I think, well, yeah, I'm aware. But he said, are you really aware? And he's like, take in your environment. So I turned my focus away from all the beautiful trees and homes that I was biking by, and the blue sky and the sunshine, and I turned it inward. And I'm aware of all the things around me, but I'm realizing that I need to just kind of get quiet. And then he said, now ask yourself, am I aware of being aware? And you have probably heard this question before. It's a form of self-inquiry. But I really took it in. I got really quiet. And even though I was very aware of what was around me in the environment, I turned inward and I asked myself, am I aware of being aware? And when I did that, something opened up. It was incredibly subtle, but as profound as thunder. I mean, it was like silence and thunder combined. There was an opening, and I did it again. I thought, am I aware? And I took in everything, the senses in the body that I was feeling, the sensations, what I was seeing, what I was hearing, being supported by the bike. I could feel the breeze on my face. Am I aware? Yes, I'm aware of all of this. And yes, I'm aware of my thoughts and my feelings. And then, am I aware of being aware of all of this? And again, there's that same opening. It was an inward opening. And although I'd had glimpses of that before, this time, I don't know, somehow it broke through. It broke through. And the point of this is that the key to unlocking your awakening process is an incredible gift that we all have. And it's when the light of awareness, the light of consciousness comes through this finite form, this body and mind, using the senses of sight and hearing and tasting and smelling and touch. When it comes through, the light of awareness comes through and looks at the world and what's going on and recognizes itself. And that can only happen if you choose to not put your attention on things that are distracting, and instead put your attention on what resides and has always resided in you as you. And that is the God, love, divine source being that we all are. So that's the gift. That's the key to unlocking our awakening process, and also the key to allowing us to stay awake. Thank you. And you know what? Before I sign off, I want to share a quote. I have something that falls right into alignment with this. It says, "The effect of life in society is to complicate and confuse our existence, making us forget who we really are by causing us to become obsessed with what we are not." And this was said a long time ago by a Taoist sage named 𝐒𝐓𝐍𝐊. And 𝐒𝐓𝐍 wrote this. I read this years ago and it touched me deeply. I mean, decades ago. And I always knew there was profound wisdom. So just remember, the world, which is a projection of our own mind, though, is going to want to confuse your existence by getting you to be really obsessed with what you are not. With what you are not. And those are the distractions that I was talking about. So use the power of your attention to go inward and to become fully aware of the truth of who you are. And on that note, namaste.